here because here, by the way, here's Daniel. How many big schools does Alabama play a year? 3, maybe? There's a reason they win 60 to 3 weeks. So I don't think that's a great argument. Okay, Daniel, when you're at like Garry Cobb and he plays against UCLA and he plays Notre Dame, and you got Quinn Mitchell who plays against Northern Illinois and Ohio, who do you think plays against better competition? Garry Cobb or Quinn Mitchell? Or how about this? It's not so much the fact, Daniel. It's also this. How about the fact that you play at Alabama, you play against the best wide receivers in the country, and you play against them every single day. Now, I'm going to ask Garry Cobb this question. I appreciate that, Daniel. Let's bring Garry Cobb in now from Fox 29. Garry, it's the first time that the coaches in the media got a chance to look at some of the rookies this past weekend. I made this.
I was out there.
What was your takeaways, Garry?
Well, they didn't show a lot, to be honest. We really didn't get a chance to see them when they were, 11 on 11. And, they're just in there, with shorts and things. But you could see that the corners they have, good athletes, quickness. You see the speed and everything. I'm really interested in how they're going to do that. Their third pick, though, because he's an athlete. You can see he's a good athlete. But what exactly are they going to have him doing? What is he going to focus on? You could see that he has the potential to be a good pass rusher.
Jalix Hunt? Are you talking Jalix Hunt?
Jalix Hunt. I could see where, they're going to have him doing multiple things because I could see he could drop. He could be playing pass defense. He's good enough athlete, but then he's got the size and everything to really be coming around that corner, as a pass rusher.
You think that was a Vic sign? You think that was a Vic Fangio pick where that's what he envisioned Hassan Reddick to do, but he knew Reddick couldn't do that? That's what he's looking at, that kind of skill set?
I think you're looking at somebody, the versatility. You can see tremendous versatility because the kid played safety, in the Ivy League, played some safety just to line up there and then to be a pass rusher. And you look at his size, he's a big kid. I mean, he's not a little, you can see like 6'4", 250 something, with long arms. So he could really be a legitimate, quality pass rusher, just that alone. But I think the thing they like about him is you see versatility. And that's the same thing you see in DeJean. They already had him lining up around and things, moving him around. So I was able to see that. But, they were just in their shorts, come out, and it didn't work out. But they let us see that.
So did they put him in the slot also? And then they play him at corner, Cooper DeJean?
Yeah. They were moving him around. Even in the walkthrough, you could see that they were moving him around. Yeah. So they plan on using his versatility. I think he's going to be at the nickel. I think he'll, at times, depends on how the other guys, how they play at the corner position. But I still could see him playing nickel because he's got some good size. And just looking at him on tape, he's willing to tackle. And when you put a guy in there at nickel, he could look up, man, and they're running a sweep at him. That's that position. And then you've always got to be able to, take on linemen and get off blocks and things. And I could see DeJean has all those qualities, that you'd like to see. But the other guys, you see, they got this, the wide receiver, very tall.
Wilson.
A projects, that he's a project.
Let me ask you this here about, I brought this up earlier on the show. So you got a decision to make here about Bradbury. Garry, are you going to be comfortable in getting rid of him after June 1, where you could put the money on the 25 cap instead? If you do it now, it's $14 million of dead money. I doubt the Eagles do that if they are going to make that decision. But if he's going to be playing more like he did a scheme like he did in 22, or he's a center fielder, instead of playing a Patricia man coverage defense. Are you sure, if you're Vic, that you want to move off of him and entrust the young guys, Mitchell and DeJean, to step in? I mean, do you think that's where they are right now, that if Bradbury's put back in a position where a defense that fits his skill set,
Yeah.
do you think that that's what they're thinking right now, that that's the decision they have to make? Do we cut him or do we keep him?
I think that is going to be a key decision they're going to make. But, they've got to look at these youngsters to see, can they play right now? Start of the season, can they come out and give us quality, possessions and go in and be solid and not making mistakes and that sort of thing? And really with Bradbury, you could see they would like to change what they asked him to do. Like you said, playing a lot more zone. That's where he kind of fits in. So I think it's a question mark. I don't think that they have made that decision. I think that they were very happy with what they got with the fact they got two quality defensive backs. That's working against Bradbury because, they weren't sure they were going to get two quality cornerbacks like that. So I think right now the odds are against him, because they got, they were able to get, both of those guys. So I see right now that they're gonna look at them, and then he's gonna get a chance after that. But the first look is gonna be at the young corners. If they can go in and they're playing very well, there's a good chance he might not be around.
What's Keely Ringo's role, you think, in a Vic Fangio defense? Where do you think he's going to fit in?
Well, I think that you're gonna see how well does he play. See, that's the thing. And how much does he like, these kids, how each guy, you come in, when you got a new coach, it's a new relationship.
Yep.
You got to show yourself and everything. So Ringo has some good tape he had from last year. So he had to like that, but how is he going to play in his system? It seems like Fangio is the kind of guy who he doesn't want you giving up the big play. So you can't be but so aggressive as a corner with him, see? So I think that it's going to be very interesting and probably, the guys that fit his personality. See, they want corners who are not going to be as aggressive as maybe some of these guys would be naturally. But really, when you think about it, they were trying to draft and trying to acquire Fangio corners last year because they've been playing his system. So I think Kelly Ringo, I think there's a good chance he's going to get opportunities. We'll see what he does with it. I mean, there's a lot of competition there. I mean, you got some competition there. That's why I say right now, Bradbury, he's got 1 foot out of here.
Okay. Let me throw this at you here. So Nakobe Dean, Trotter, is there a role on this team, you think, for Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? Do you think from how they're looking at him? And again, like you said, as you know, Gary, in camps like this, you're talking about kind of not really installing anything. It's more of a meet and greet. This is what kind of to expect. We're going to run around here. We're going to talk. We're going to try to install some of the basic stuff. So it's kind of a vanilla and generic, but you're getting a sense of it. Did you get a sense that there could be a role for Trotter?
I think so. And the thing that I really got a chance to really just listen to him and just kind of interact a little bit. He's mature for his years. See,
that's his dad.
That's his dad, definitely. And it seems like he's got a kind of personality that can handle Philadelphia. Because, see, I was concerned about them drafting him because I'm saying he's going to come in here. Everybody's saying Jeremiah Trotter. So they're thinking he's going to play like his dad. After, you're going to stand out, he's going to be all-pro linebacker. That's a lot to ask,
Yes.
So, he's going to get that where it's Jeremiah Trotter. So I think he's calm though enough. He's poised enough and he's a smart player. See, he's really sharp because, of course, his dad has coached him and everything. So I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be able to deal with Philadelphia. I think he's going to be able to deal with the system because he's bright. You know, he's a smart player. So I think Jeremiah is going to be fine. And I would probably say that I would favor him to be on the field a lot.
What is going to be a tougher install? What Kellen Moore wants to do or what Vic wants to do defensively? Like, what do you think is going to be a slower install with players picking it up? Because as you know, the younger you go, if you get rid of the Bradburys, get rid of the Reddicks, terminology, that transition, Gary, going from college to pro,
Yep.
It's like learning Portuguese from English. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a huge jump. Most of the stuff is technique and terminology
That's
that
right.
really slows players down on both sides of the ball. What's going to be a slower process, you think?
Without a doubt, the defensive side. Offensively, they've got seasoned people everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And they'll be tweaking some things, but for the most part, they got veterans at most of the spots. They've got people that have done it for a while. So I expect them to hit the ground running, and I expect them to carry this team for a while. The offense, because they've got all these pieces. And if you're a defense, then you're not getting any sleep. The defensive coordinator the night before you play the Eagles, and they don't know what they're going to do, and whatever they call, they're in a bad situation because the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league. When you look at that running game, when you look at and passing the ball, they're one of the best teams in the league. So either way you go, you're in a tough situation as a defensive coordinator. So I definitely think the Eagles' offense will lead the way. Their defense, on the other hand, they got they got young people. They've got guys that are new to this system. Coming from the Jets and different guys coming in, all these different guys coming in. So, and then who is going to take over? Like those young, you got White in there. Okay. How is he going to play? Being that he was benched down there, he's a question mark. So you got more question marks on defense. You don't have those question marks on offense. So the offense has got to carry them. I hope the defense comes in and they find people that can shine in the different positions. And you've got young players that you need people that are going to step in and be good veterans and help these kids develop quick. Because by the second half of the season, you're probably going to have a lot of these young kids on the field, and they're depending on them. And hopefully they'll grow up, and they'll grow up fast. But the defense is going to be the question mark, and it'll probably be the question mark the entire season.
Two last questions for you here. I had a conversation with Ira Kaufman, who covers the Buccaneers as a Hall of Fame voter down with the Tampa Tribune. And this is some of the comments, and he doubled down on it with Devin White. He said that he has an attitude problem, and on top of that, he's not very good in the locker room. Now, a lot of that could have been because of the contract a year ago. Mm-hmm. People's attitudes go sideways. Every time we love one another, but when money's brought up, money can make anybody go sideways because, that's just what can be. Did you get a sense that he's looking at this as a fresh start?
I think he is. I think, and I hope he is, because, the next few weeks, when he comes in, early in the season, how he plays is going to decide. Does he play another 5 years? Does he? And then he makes another 50, 60, $100 million? Does he do that, or does he fade out and kind of fall apart here, and they wind up benching him, and before you know it, by the end of the season, nobody's talking about him. They're here. They brought him here as a question mark, and they hope he's going to shine, and he's going to have the chance to. He's got good people around him. You got a good group there in the middle there, but he's got to push these guys, and he's got to be a leader out there. They really need him to step up and be the leader of the defense. Early on. They can't expect these young kids to do that, like Jeremiah Trotter. They can't ask them to do that. But they need Devin White to step up and shine at the beginning of the season maybe more than any other defensive player, I would think he's the guy, because he needs to be calling the signals, telling everybody what they're supposed to be doing, and he's supposed to be making plays. And I'm gonna have my eyes on him the time he gets to camp, and until, let's say the first half of the season. I'm gonna see if he's gonna shine, because he's gonna have a lot to do with how well the season the Eagles have.
One last question. If you were a betting man, who do you believe in more by the end of the 2024 season? Nolan Smith or Nakobe Dean?
Well, I probably would say Nolan Smith. I mean, because Nakobe's undersized. He's been hurt so far. I don't know, and really, I'm guessing with Nolan Smith too. But I will say him because he went higher, and you can see he's got raw speed around the corner. He had that. With Nakobe, I haven't really seen him on the field to see him shine, at all. We haven't seen that. He hasn't been on the field. Nolan has been on the field where you say he can turn it on coming around that corner.
The Buccaneer game, you saw some glimpses of it.
Yeah.
The playoff Buck game, you kind of saw some things where you're like, hey, he's shown some skill set. Yeah. But it's just both those guys, Gary, they're both undersized in a way.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You're right. And the thing is I think they're, I think Nolan is going to be singled up. Nakobe, he's got to go in. He's got to depend on other people, those guys in front of him, and he's got to get off blocks, and he's got to make plays. But the first thing he's got to do is got to earn some time. I think Nolan's probably sure bet maybe to see more time, but Nakobe's got to battle for time. I mean, with Trotter, some of the other young linebackers they have. So he's got some work to get out there first. And so we'll see. I can't say I'm sure about either one of them. We're going to find out quick. In fact, I ran into them out there hitting golf balls last week.
Who's got a better swing? Or none of them?
Hey, they're learning. Okay.
Hey, wait, Gary, it's not like playing at Hubbard Heights, is it?
Not the same, man.
Hey, thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate
all right, hey, have a great one. All right.
You got to keep hitting them straight. That's my friend Garry Cobb. My dad used to play golf with Jackie Robinson at Hubbard Heights. How crazy is that? And I was in the golf cart. I've told some of you the story, and I was in the golf cart because Jackie lived up at Pound Ridge. My aunt listens to this, and Garry knew Jackie Robinson very well because he's a little older than me, and Jackie used to show up to a lot of our anytime, like when I was a little tiny kid playing Babe Ruth baseball or what have you, or any event, Jackie used to always be the honorary speaker in Stanford. And dude, the sports field that I learned all my sports on, the Jackie Robinson Field, it's right around my house down in the Cove. And I used to go up there. My grandfather would go there all the time. And yeah, Garry knew him very well. But my dad, believe it or not, man, my dad played golf with Jackie all the time when Jackie was in town. Hey, Yale. Oh, no, Yale. Jackie would be in his 70s now? No way. He'd be near 100. Rachel Robinson is still alive. She's like 90. I think Rachel's 96, something like that. She's like 96 now. Rachel's still alive. She lives in Stanford, by the way. Yeah, she lives in Stanford. Love Rachel Robinson. So, all right, hit the like button. Xander, where are we right now? On our likes. Where are we here? Where are we? 160. We need 140 more, guys. 140 more. I'm looking for 250. So let's get to 250. I'm going to reset that topic that we had here. NFC East teams, massive questions. We're going to reset too, by the way. Okay? That's 90 more. Miami brain. Yeah. Excuse me, 90 more. Okay, yeah, 90 more. Hey, what am I, man? You know what? Who said I was a mathematician? Who said I was a mathematician? I went to UM. Give me a break, kid. When you go to Miami, man, you don't go with degrees you put on the wall. Your degree is the one you fold and you put in your wallet. All right, hit the like button. We will reset. But hang on here. I went to Bama. I'm dumb as 87%. Hey, by the way, you ready for this? Just to show you how big Sills School. 87% acceptance rate at Alabama. I think it's like 21% at UM. I don't know. Don't ask me. No, don't ask me. You know how I got in. It's like 21. Wait a minute. Let me do that before. Hang on. Let me do that. What's the acceptance rate at UM? I think it's 87% at Alabama. But Nick did that for the football players. Let me see. Let's laugh here. What's the acceptance rate at the University of Miami?
18.9%. According to Prep Scholar, admissions rate, 18.9%. If you want to get in, the first thing to look at is the acceptance rate. This tells you how competitive the school is and how serious their requirements are. The acceptance rate at University of Miami is 18.9%.
How in the frig did I get in? Are you crazy? 18 here. What's the acceptance rate at Alabama?
According to Prep Scholar, this tells you how competitive the school
80.
is and how serious their requirements are. The acceptance rate at University of Alabama is 80.1%.
So, excuse me, Xander. I'm more of an intellect than you. Oh, always remember that, youngster. You're talking to a scholar here. I went to a scholar institution. You went where anybody could go. I am a scholar. I went to a higher school of education. Sills, how'd you get in? I think 10 people spoke for me. I don't even remember. I don't even remember filling out the acceptance. Oh my God. I better be quiet here, man. Let me get out. Hey, please hit the like button. We're trying to get to 250 likes. Scholar Sills. Really, Sue? Yeah, I look it. We'll reset. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.